validator. I did a bit of review for Giveth 2 as well. And so I would like Matteo to go next because I stopped in the middle. Hi, James. We just started. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to see what Matteo and James have to say. They did a lot of stuff. And afterwards, we will dive into the issues to close them and look at our sprint and the new issues, especially. So maybe Matteo, you want to start?
Sure. Hey everyone. So my main update for the week was I added the Ethereum name service approach for the addresses for both edition and creation. So you can right now type in your ENS domain and it will fetch the Ethereum address instantly. I fixed some of the flow in the creation. I made the reaction of the projects, but there is a book that I am currently solving with Camilo right now. So it's not complete then yet. What else? I added the review, the issues. Yeah, the little bottom on the side that says report an issue if something happens. Let me see what else. The share button, I made up my own pop-up for you to share the project in that in the project card that is share this, and it will show you the three buttons from Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. We may add another way to share as well. Those are the default that we have all over in the app. Maybe I'm missing something, but if we check the issues, I can tell also what else I did. But besides that, there were many UX UI issues that I solved. Also, well, James can give his update, but he did an amazing job adding the donations through crypto in the database. So he changed that flow. Also, we removed the Etherscan fetching of that. I pass it to James so he can get more detail on that.
Cool.
Thanks.
Thank you, Matteo. Hi, everybody. Yeah, so I did quite a lot of work in Giveth this week, I would say, and that was on sort of 3 places. All of it was around saving donations in the database and then returning the donations that had been saved back again. So the first part of this was around for each individual donor, for them to be able to see where they donated money. And as I went into this, like, I had quite a few realizations and discovered quite a few things that I wasn't super happy with, basically, that we can talk about, I don't know, at some point, I guess. But mostly it's around how we deal with logged in users and how we have a session for a user, essentially. So yeah, I don't know, like, how does the agenda normally work? Like, I mean, should I just give an update of what I've been working on, or should I go into detail of some things I want to talk about? I wrote some stuff in the agenda for the call.
So there is on the agenda only looking at the sprint, which we'll do in depth on Wednesday anyway. So there is time to discuss. Although, yeah, Willie is here. Nice. So I was just looking if he was here. Yeah, I think we can discuss this. Do you want to add any more updates?
I'll finish out what I was saying. So basically, like, yeah, saving updates and retrieving updates, right? So like all of this is pretty much done now. There's some PRs that need to be merged, basically. And the only part that is not done is I haven't integrated amines changes where we get the Ethereum price at the time of the transaction from Feathers. Like, that's what I'll do next. But otherwise, for a donor, they can see any donation they made. For a project, we can see any donations that have been made for these also. And yeah, that was like the gist of it, basically. As a part of this, like I was really unhappy with how we've integrated Taurus embed. So I've been speaking to Taurus also. I posted a screenshot in Discord. I need to add Mateo to the group chat, but I think everyone else is in there. I mean, at least Amin and Kai are in there already, and they're going to release they're doing a new release tomorrow, which will make it unnecessary for us to have a pop-up signing of a message, essentially, which is a big win for us, I would say. Also, the way I did the implementation, it's very unreliable to know that we have a logged in session for a user in our current app, right? Like they click login, they appear to be logged in, but there is no like JOT or no JWT token like being stored for them in the DApp at all, right? So they're kind of not really super authenticated. So that meant that like when I was saving the details of the user's donation, it made it I could not rely on anything to do with being logged in, right? So the way I've implemented it now, I think is the best way of doing it that I can imagine, which is simply that if a user is logged in or not, it doesn't matter. Like when they make a donation, whether that's through Taurus, MetaMask, or whatever, like we save that address in local storage in the browser. So we save their public address. And then if they are logged in, they will be allowed to go to the My Donations page. If they're on this page, then we will send all of the addresses that are in local storage, which should be any address that they've ever made a donation from, and then we will return those donations for them in the My Donations page. But that's got nothing to do with whether they're logged in or not, right? So like theoretically, that means that anybody who's not logged in, like anyone can like go to our API and request like all of the donations for a set of addresses, right? Like for me, that's acceptable in my mind, because ultimately we're talking about a blockchain anyway, right? Like if you have a list of addresses, then you can go and look on a block explorer or whatever. So it's not a security risk for me. It's just I don't like it somehow. But I think our options when I looked at it was either only disallow a user to make a donation except if it's from their logged in Ethereum address. So that would mean that like if they're logged in with Taurus, that they can only donate with Taurus, or if they're logged in with MetaMask, they can only donate with MetaMask. Like that would have made me feel better in some way, but it's like a super undesirable outcome, right? Like we really don't want that. So like what I'm saying is that like we should either restrict where they can donate from, or we should reflect all of their addresses in our database also, right? Like there's a kind of disconnect between what we're allowing in the DApp and what we're storing for a user in the database in the backend. Anyway, that's quite deep and detailed, I would say, and maybe unnecessary, so I'll leave it there. But essentially, to summarize, I would say we have probably the best working solution right now. I think in the future, we should really revise how we do the login and all that stuff after MVP. I think ideal situation is we do a detect if they have MetaMask installed, and if they don't, then we present them with just Taurus or something like this. But yeah, for now, like let's just keep it. I'm quite happy with what we have right now. I mean, I'd love to hear what you guys think about it. Anyway, and especially if we get this update from Taurus, then I think we could be looking pretty good, essentially. But yeah, I mean, best to just play around with it yourselves and make more sense of it, I suppose. What do you guys think?
I have a question regarding the what you mentioned, that we are saving every way that the donor is making the donation, either if it was Taurus or MetaMask or whatever. We are using the local storage, but it is also dependent that you log in through Taurus for you to see your donations, or we are.
Yeah, I mean, that's a decision we can make, but as it stands right now, like you cannot go to My Donations unless you're logged in. That was like that before, and it makes total sense.
Yeah.
Well, it makes total sense in the world where like you have an account that is linked to a single wallet address, and if you're logged in with that wallet address, then you should be able to see donations from that wallet, right? But if we're thinking more in a mindset of like, we don't necessarily care if someone even has an account, like if they can prove if they're somehow logged in with that address somehow,
Yeah.
like they've signed a message at some point or whatever, where, yeah, then I mean, like maybe in that world, like we want anybody to be able to go to my donations anyway, right? Like I think it's super cool in one way, and I'm also super worried about it because it's a bit janky, right? Like there's so many, we have so many like possibilities of logged in, not logged in this wallet, not logged in that wallet. Like there's so many like permutations of this that I think this could get like quite buggy. So I'm a little concerned about it, but like in the spirit of getting to MVP as fast as possible, I think we should just try to do a set of testing with it, see how it, see if it works out. I think it probably will. Like I think it's going to work. Maybe if there's some bugs, fix them, I guess, and hope for the best for now. But yeah, I mean, it should actually work. I don't see why not, right? But it's kind of, it's quite a bit more complicated than.
Yeah, I think that for MVP, we should focus or centralize sadly the authentication through Torus as it is right now, and then we can discuss how we can maybe check the best way for making multiple providers of way of authentication, because that would mean that if you have MetaMask, you can authenticate yourself with your address, and that's your account. There's nothing else we have to do in there,
Yeah.
either
Yeah.
parties or whatever. So I think that's the issue of multiple provider for one user.
I agree. Yeah, I think having. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead. Sorry. You know, currently we are using Taurus after a while and seeing the problems we have with Taurus about authentication exactly. I thought why we have to stick to we have just we keep using Taurus just as well for authentication, because as I see the for example we have using Amber.js, it supports any kind of wallet. And and we also save the user data in our database, and we haven't implemented avatar, user profile, anything, but we are using it. And you know, and also I didn't get the point about the when the user about the address stored in storage. I didn't get the point. Do you mean that when the user is not? You mean that when the user is not logged in, we see the addresses in the storage and load all the donation for those addresses? Is it that? Is it right?
It's if the user is logged in or if the user is not logged in, it doesn't matter. In every case, like whenever they make a donation, we save the address that they make the donation from in local storage.
How do you know he has done the donation?
There, after the donation is made, like we have some logic there, which doesn't. Yeah, I mean, we just check. Like, there's lots of.
How do you match those? Because based on time, based on what? Because you get the information from a wallet and see, okay, he has done the donation and save in the pending state in the database and wait until it's go through.
I think right now, like we don't like check to see if the transaction has completed or something like this.
I had it commented because Notify.js alongside Onboard.js handles that, and it has an event handler when the transaction passes correctly, but they are offering it as a service, so I just commented it because I didn't want to spend the daily limit that they are offering. So either we can make our own, or I don't know.
I saw that there. I think like in the use case that I'm talking about, I think that it's not really important because like, I mean, if we're specifically talking about just saving the address that the user makes a donation from, we only use that information to decide what addresses we need to check for donations from, right? So I don't know if that's clear. So in this use case, all we're saying is that like if a donation is made from this address, we save it in local storage, and we do so for the purpose of knowing what addresses we need to go and check for donations from, right? So I think whether the transaction goes through or not, in this case, is not like super important, right? But I mean, it's a good question, but I just want to be clear on them. I mean, anything we do, like I'd say it's good enough right now, basically in this case, right? But yeah.
That's my thought too. Hearing what you guys have in place now sounds great for MVP. I also like the idea for after MVP to detect MetaMask if the user already has MetaMask installed, detect that and not push them through Taurus. I think that's a really cool idea. And really glad to hear that you're able to talk with Taurus and get around the pop-up message. I think that's a huge win. So yeah, I mean, hearing this implementation for tracking donations sounds really good for MVP. I'm not too concerned about the endpoint being opened where anyone can query donations by an address. Like that seems almost like a feature to me rather than a vulnerability. And then down the road, I think like if we get a lot of requests from users that they want to see, they want to be able to like add any address and track donations, that could be a cool feature to implement down the road where users can theoretically add any address and like sign a message from any address and then say, okay, now I want this address. I want to show up under my donations and these donations from this address to be associated with my account. That could be a cool feature down the road if we get a lot of user requests from it.
That's true. So what do we think about, should we continue to lock down the My Donations page only if the user is logged in, or?
I think that makes sense for now, the My Donations page to leave as is. Like, what would be the argument for opening it up?
Well, the argument would be that if all it would mean is that if I'm not logged in and I make a donation with my MetaMask, then it could be cool for me to go to the My Donations page and see that donation there, right? But I mean, there could be complications if we try to open it up also. There could be other things that are missing. And I don't know. I'm just, yeah.
The point I'm talking about that I don't like the way we are using Taurus is that we have onboard.js. It covers the Taurus, and also when you connect the Taurus to that, you can get the instance. I had that question. I asked that question from the community of the onboard.js. They say that okay, if you are connected via Taurus, we can get the instance username, profile, image, and something by that entry. So it's possible if a user logged in with Taurus on onboard.js, we get the profile information. So we have everything under the under umbrella of the onboard.js. And I prefer the point that whenever user connect a wallet, he's logged in and he can see his page and he can see his My Donation page. It's really. Honestly, it's similar to US one, but I didn't find any better solution in my mind. And the point that Danny said, the point that Willie said, that okay, it's a DeFi application similar. Say what address do you want to go through? Say okay, I want to see the balance of this, and for example, the pools, the balance, and everything related to this address. I don't have that wallet, but I want to see this address, and it's cool. So I think we should get rid of Taurus as it is, because just stick to just onboard.js and have a valid address on top of right now. And
I totally agree.
You are there. We agree.
I totally agree with you. Like, I don't like how it's done. Like, I don't like having Taurus and onboard.js like this. Like, it's really, like, I don't like it at all. But it's definitely, it's working for now for sure. Actually, I would not like to use onboard.js. I would like to, as I said, like detect if there's MetaMask. If there's not, then offer them Taurus and Wallet Connect. I think like Wallet Connect plus Wallet Connect, MetaMask, Taurus, like is everything, right, that we need, right? Like, I mean, onboard.js is only free for the first 1,000 users, if I understand it correctly. Like, it's cool that you get analytics and stuff like this. But yeah, I mean, anyway, it's another conversation, but in general, I agree with you that like, I don't like how we're doing it right now. I mean, I would suggest, agree to change it.
The only counter for that is that onboard.js has everything, every way that you can make a donation through crypto right now, and limiting that would slow things down, I guess, because we need to make the user easy to donate whatever way it is. So if we only limit it for MetaMask, Wallet Connect and Torus, I think we are limiting a lot the user. And the big difference that I believe you're not seeing is that Onboard is only a provider service for many ways to make a transaction, but Torus is serving as an authentication service. Onboard.js, it has nothing to do with authentication. It only handles the transaction. You can make them through them. It signs the provider, and that's it. But Torus is another way, another thing completely. So
the point about Torus,
it cannot be compared, I guess.
That's a good point, Mateo. And Onboard.js is free, right? It's just the Notify.js that...
The Notify.js is what's costly. Onboard is completely free.
The point about Torus is when we use a Torus, we don't use Torus embed, we use Torus SDK and have the private key. Otherwise, we user authenticates, but we don't have his authentication information. We just have his valid address until we sign a message and say, okay, you have a private key. So we don't have the Torus authentication till we use the Torus embed and use the standard wallet that the users see everywhere.
Can we agree that right now what we have is at least good for like getting some of these first projects on, and then we can see how that works and we can continue talking about it.
I agree.
Cool. I do really like the idea of giving MetaMask if we detecting MetaMask for more advanced users and letting them go with that, not pushing the more advanced users to go create an account with Torus. But it does seem there is kind of two different things here, because to create a project, that's where we want to make it really easy for anybody who's not even necessarily crypto savvy to be able to come in, create an account with email password or with any of these single sign-on options, then be able to create a project and accept donations. And Torus is really good for that, as opposed to like MetaMask, Wallet Connect, or like even just showing a brand new user who's not crypto savvy a bunch of different wallet options. Torus, I think, that's like the best thing about Torus, is that we don't have to overwhelm a user and teach them all about wallets and stuff just to get them started, because that's a big barrier. On the donation side, we do want to have like maximum support, basically, for the users who are going to be donating crypto. They got to have some level of crypto understanding, and I like Onboard.js as an option there. But I'm open to debating it, and coming up with better solutions for sure. But it does at least seem like for now what we have in place is solid for this first MVP.
Totally. And I mean, like, totally. I mean, like, there's definitely, I was just flagging that I agree. I don't like how it is, and that like after MVP, like we can totally change it. I would like to. Yeah.
Cool.
Cool.
And
sure,
I have a question about. Oh, what did you say? Okay, thank you. I have a question about the donation tracking. James, we track every donation to a specific address.
Yeah, I mean, the tracking of donations is that if they make a donation through the GUI, through the dApp, then we save it through the GraphQL server into the database, right? So it's completely, any of this stuff is off-chain. Like, I mean, we do, in the backend, we do go to Etherscan to get the transaction details from there, basically. But yeah, I would say it's done in a very, in the easiest way possible, I would say. It might not be that robust or something.
So we rely on Etherscan to get the information about the donation to a specific address. You're right. Am I right?
For a transaction, we send the transaction ID from the dApp to the backend, and then with the transaction ID, we go to Etherscan and get the details.
So we just support donations that has done via our user. So if the user has the address and do the donation after on another wallet and not through our application, we don't have the address. Yeah.
Exactly.
And, yeah, and the point is that we have the same problem on the Giveth one, that the user is the speed up. We don't have transaction hash anymore. We have user nouns. If the user do the donation, network is slow, or gas fee is high. User do it, as soon as user hit confirm the transaction, we have a transaction hash. its value is not needed to be mined to have that hash value. But if the user speed up the transaction, increase the gas price, the transaction has changed, and we don't have, and that transaction is not valid anymore. So
Okay,
Giveth one, we keep the nonce, and yeah, and because we have all the transactions to our smart contract. It's easy. We match the events, the user nonce, and everything with that pending the transaction, and say, okay, these two are same. Change the transaction hash and saved it. I don't know how it works, and in our case that we have a simple address, not a smart contract. We don't, maybe I don't know whether every transaction to every money transfer to an address is obtainable without Etherscan or not. And my case, I have if I don't do mistake, I have seen sometimes that Etherscan doesn't show every money movement to an address. User has some balance, but there is no transfer of DAI, for example, to that address. And say, oh, where's that? There wasn't any. Etherscan doesn't show that, and that's a bug. If Etherscan fails, and Etherscan's API say that there is no guarantee. Yeah, I have seen that.
That's great. I mean, it's great to know that, and I'm sure like there's so much that you've learned on Giveth one that like we will need to know about for sure. I think like the way that it's done now is definitely like minimum viable and getting into the product, right? So I mean, I expect we'll probably face some interesting bugs in the future. It sounds like from what you're saying, but yeah, I expect that it's probably going to work a lot of the time. I mean, I don't want to say most of the time. Like maybe it sounds like edge cases is what you're talking about, I would say, but yeah.
Yeah, edge cases. They make the Python complicated and rather hard to maintenance. And this Giveth one, we created a simulation script to run through the events from the first of the smart contract is created and fix every state mismatching. Yeah, I'm just seeing that, and yeah,
that's exciting. I mean, like honestly, like I personally am very interested in like watching addresses like for events and things like this, and I know you've been working on this, so I guess we can talk about that anyway. Like, I mean, in the future, I'm sure we can build something cool if you haven't already got something that will catch this stuff.
For sure, thank you.
Cool. That's it from me anyway. I have nothing else really. Yeah, I feel like, I mean, I don't know what Matteo would say about this, but like my feeling is that like we could potentially have everything done by our deadline Wednesday or Thursday, whatever we agreed, so that we can deploy a good version to get tested, to get hammered, and yeah, start really like making realistic predictions about when we can get this out.
All right, thanks for this discussion. It's a very interesting one. One little thing from me still, I'm always amazed when I use Taurus on my Safari browser and then later I realize that I just use Safari and I'm on a crypto wallet because it works with nothing else. Same on mobile and same through all browsers except the cookies thing, right? So that's one thing to consider. And I think we have this not in the brain because we use Taurus for authentication and like to have a receiving address for the campaigns, but it's actually quite different from donation, and maybe we can separate it somehow even better. But like you said, I don't want to go on here. Let's do this, push this to fast follow maybe. And I'm also +1 for maybe manually adding addresses you have, or in general, more focusing towards exploration of donations in the sense of accountability, like all should be visible. And so I should always be able to see what, like browse through the history of campaigns and look at, click at a donation and see who is it from, even if there is no name, see the others. But yeah, we said we would put it to fast follow. let me quickly, and also thank you for the updates. Jesus. Why does this not work? It's too big. Oh, now it works. I want to, this is very slow. I don't know why. I just wanted to quickly actually look at the at the milestone to see if we, great. Let me actually do the new. So we made this. Oh yeah, one thing. So both of you said your PRs are not ready, right? And you will ping me when you are, so we can review. They're both building now. I saw that.
Yeah, I need to basically get to merge the latest impact graph changes before, but otherwise it's completely ready.
There is also an update. I just made the PR on impact graph regarding some changes for projects reactions that Camilo just made. So that one is also blocked for my PR. So
Okay.
if you can check it out, James, whenever you can.
I'll merge it. I'll pull it now and merge it into mine and check it out.
Great.
All right. So let's see. Oh yeah, did you? So before I do anything else, did you get this, Matteo?
Yeah, I checked a lot of them, but not everyone.
Can you edit this? Can you check those checkboxes?
Let me see.
That's why I like to start with this one, because it's such a collector. This is not for sure not the most important issue that's here. While you're looking for it,
yeah, I can do it. I can
cool.
toggle the button.
So where was this? I'm still getting my bearings with this. I had this other view of a milestone. I can't do it now. I don't know why. So this is, I think you said this is pending. Still some changes again, or still?
As soon as James updates the impact graph, it should work. Let me show you.
It's done now. I've merged yours.
Cool. Nice. So that's. Are you showing something? No. Okay.
No. Right now. Are you seeing something?
Yes. Yes. Let me. Yeah.
So this is the button, the reaction. So it's a toggle that depends on the user. If you're logged in, you can react to the project. And the share is just this. If anyone has some design, Marco is not here, I think. But if he were, I guess he would say something better for this. But so far, it's just share this project, and when you click on Twitter or whatever, you just see the same hashtag Giveth. We need to make better the marketing for this. So, well, it shouldn't say undefined, but it should go Giveth in here. But I need to check on that. But that's it.
Nice.
I'm noticing that little arrow is the one that's usually used for like forward or reply, but usually when I see that little dot with the arrow, the two more dots, it's like a three dots, that's the share icon that people would be more familiar with.
I think the one is the same arrow, but it's inside a square. I guess that's the one that is more clear because the 3 dots is usually referred to settings, no?
I would actually agree with Matteo here that the 3 dots, like it's here in, yeah.
I'm saying it wrong. It's 1 dot and then an arrow to 2 other dots. It's like a dot.
Oh yeah, that one.
Dot. That's what share is. You know what I'm talking about? I'll go find it.
It's like a less than sign with dots at the end, right?
I know what you're talking about, Danny. I think if you search share icon, you'd see the icon Danny's talking about. But Danny, there's that.
Logout, you get the pop-up, so you log in.
Nice. It looks good. Yeah, let me not forget to add design needed for Marco. Yeah. Did you already push your changes?
Yeah, this is the PR, the
Cool,
one
because, I need a screenshot, that's why. And I should be able to make one on a deploy preview of your share. Ta-da! It works great. All right. Yeah, thanks.
Oh, that one. Yes, that is the one. That's true.
Any, who should decide? So, so actually the new issues, there were some new issues. I think you just added this, Matteo, as well.
Mm-hmm.
But you said you did not, there is still something missing, like, when did you say project? No.
No, it was Camilo for the reaction, but it's up already. So it's working.
Okay. I think you said you integrated ENS in this place, but it was missing on 2 others.
ENS is already up for both creating and editing the project.
Cool, thanks. Is Griff here? Griff, do you like this? Let's do a quick review. Report an issue button on the right. Gotcha.
Sorry.
There you are.
Yeah, I'm here. Can you show it again? I was definitely working on other things.
It's just here on the lower right of my.
Oh, I only see the Giveth 2 workspace.
Oh, shoot. Yes, here.
Where is it?
On the bottom right.
Bottom right.
It will be visible everywhere.
Oh, report an issue. Ooh.
Yeah.
I think it could be louder, but it's good. It's good enough for me.
Oh, interesting. What did I do now? Okay, thanks. Let's quickly.
If it were hot pink with arrows and confetti and like cake.
You will not get confetti on everything. That's
dude, confetti works, man. Confetti works.
I know.
Anyway.
So we'll use it for the nations where we need confetti.
Yeah, it's fair. Okay, fine. But I would say it's definitely good enough for MVP. Don't put any more time in it.
Nice.
But donate is hot pink, so red would be probably more appropriate.
Okay, yeah, red. Or green. I like
okay, let's do it. Let's do signal color. Can you tell me about this one, James?
Oh, that should also be.
You're muted. You're muted.
I made a call on this, and non-logged in donor asks if they want to create accounts. Oh, maybe that's not done. Yeah. So essentially, no. What I did is I added a link to that. When you click on register accounts, it does the same as if you hit a login. It opens Taurus up basically. So I think that can be tested. It's done.
Cool.
Well, once my PR is merged, which is ready to be merged, basically.
All right. Is register the right wording? Yeah. Just thinking loud.
I would prefer create an account, but it's definitely correct in most ways.
Materialize your account from the depths of. It's really like it's not nice. Yeah. All right, let's do it to QA. In progress. So I'll leave the audit report here. James, you said calculating fiat amount. Fiat amount is you're working on this currently, or is it?
Yeah, that's I'm working on that. Yeah. So at the moment, I think I hard code a value that's returned right now, but it's not going to take me long. I'll probably have that done the next day.
Cool. So as far as this sprint marked stuff goes, oh yeah, there was one thing: the project categories. I didn't test making a new project yet. Do we have them in there already?
Yeah.
Cool. I changed something on the side because the list was way too long, so I just made that scrollable.
Yes.
Good man.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Okay. We can just select. So let's look at other new issues. This is marked as fast follow.
But I fixed it.
Yeah. All right, you fixed it already. So let's do it to. Yeah, the confetti. All right, the confetti. Yes, fast follow. Let's put it to do. This is, I think, is an older one. No, 7 days ago. This was from testing on V2 Griff.
That was last weekend when the graph was down and James found the error, but he fixed it almost instantly.
Okay, so I will close this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yay.
Oh yeah, this is the PR, I think. No?
Yes, this is.
Yes. So this is waiting for this. That's cool. It is now ready to go, or
yeah, it's ready to go. It's ready to go. Yeah, the impact graph's all up to date now.
So let me actually live merge this then.
If you want, merge this one first, and I'll check on my local just to avoid explosions.
Yes. So I merge James now, and you will merge staging into yours.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
I'll let you know, or I can merge it if you want to check something.
I did not review it, although if it works. So just so you know, I'm very transparent. I did not see it.
Right.
It's even blocking me, which is nice.
Whip up.
This reminds me of another one. I mean, please still, I need your help with the circle so we push all the changes to, like if we change impact graph, it gets auto deployed to both deployments. And I'm just not able to find any info on how that works. It's very crazy. Do you know how to deploy to more than one server from one repo and one
Actually, I haven't experienced. I thought it was simple, but because you have haven't done that yet, so it's tricky, of course. Now I had just pushed from one source from one branch to deploy one source from one branch, and I don't know whether duplicating the line in the deploy section doesn't work.
So you see, that's why, like, maybe you can try what you think would work, and if that also doesn't work, we need to set up some other form of CI.
Okay.
It would be cool, but we have more experience. That's why I asked. Yeah.
Thank you. Also, let's assign me to that, and also I should have access to those servers to see whether it's working or not.
All right. You have access, but I'll make an issue.
The second server. I don't think so. The mainnet.
Yeah, it's the same. It's all the same. It's one-on-one clone of the other one. It just has a different address, and it's its own server.
So yeah, so my SSH is working. Yeah.
Yep. It just it's mainnet.serve, and I'll write to you.
Thank you. Please assign that to me to see what.
All right. All right.
Assigning task to me, please. An issue or something like that.
Yeah, I'll also make an issue.
Thank you.
So we have 10 more minutes. So we merge this. So let's see the new issue still. Taurus looked in.
I can create if you are busy. I can create. Go ahead. I will create.
Okay. Thanks. Yeah. So this is like, it's part of what we talked before.
We're waiting for the response now, James, to see if this.
Sorry, you're waiting for something from me?
No, that you messaged Taurus, and we're waiting for a response from their side for this.
I for some reason I'm not seeing the screen share. Hang on.
Okay.
I see Amin all the time. Hey, Amin.
Pin me.
There we go. All right, now we're back. Yeah, with this, so they're doing a release tomorrow morning that will essentially not make it a pop-up window and hopefully not show this our secret business over there. I mean, the thing is, like, I think for create projects, that's important. Only for create project, right? Like the actual token itself. Otherwise, we can operate with just the, as we discussed, right? Like this loose security we have for donations. But yeah, so essentially we wait to hear from them. There is a Telegram group that we're already in. I mean, Kai and I will add Matteo. And if anybody else wants to be in that group, then let me know. Your Telegram handle, of course.
All right. I put it into backlog just for because I think this will keep surfacing. Oh, thank you. I mean, there is the issue. Oh yeah, that's the PR. This is so confusing always to me that PRs are added as issues, but maybe it's a... Oh yeah, this is a little thing that I made, a little issue. Thank you for putting in the Giveth campaign. We should make it a bit cooler. This is a very, actually, let's give this a good first issue. I can do the graphic. Maybe someone wants to really nail down this text. And I think we can then just update it on the impact graph. Is there any, is formatting hard, like, or is there some sort of formatting problem, or did you just paste it in very quickly, James? Because it's, yeah.
Sorry, I'm not sure I follow. So this is
here.
Okay. Okay, so this is the seeding of the database, is it?
Yeah, so I think it's you probably added this to have to give it as a standard campaign, and it's nice that it's there, and we should improve upon it. I just wanted to ask if there is anything like this text. Is a typo, right? Like the unlike it's not, we don't have any problems with formatting. We can put in any text. Is the question?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like for sure, basic formatting is as usual, right? Like, I mean, if we're talking about like having bold and having
just
stuff, I'm not sure.
If we supply you with a nice paragraph, you can just
that's easy.
All right,
that's cool. Right. That's cool. Yeah.
Cool. But I'll add this to the sprint. I'll add this to the sprint. All right, I clicked this already. All right, anything anybody wants to talk about? We will do like a little preview on Wednesday. We will go and look at, actually start these reviews that are here. And we'll try until Wednesday to clear out what is not here, sorry. Here.
Can we see, is this everything that's outstanding?
Yeah, this is not a sprint. And everything is here. That's still quite a lot. I will, in the meantime, go over here and already look for stuff we will want to tackle in the next sprint. Yeah.
I mean, I would just add that, like, if something is assigned to you or to anyone, like to me even, like, and it has the epic that, you know, for the sprint, and that you're not going to finish in the sprint, then we should just flag it, because otherwise I think it would be nice to be able to assume that anything that has got the milestone on it is going to be ready for Wednesday, right? So that we know it's in there.
Yes, the only thing that might be bigger, because see, like basically everything that's in the sprint is already, this is to do, but like you see, it's almost all of it is done or in staging or wants some review.
Yeah.
And the only thing that's a bit bigger is this, because it's like a collection, it's like a kitchen sink kind of issue for little things in the, but many of those are already finished because this is an older one. And the other one is yours with calculating fiat amount.
Okay. I mean, I'm just wondering, like, how can we plan this, like, going forward? Like, what do we need to plan? Because I mean, if we finish, for example, everything tomorrow, like maybe it's just useful for us as developers to go through and do a round of testing ahead of like putting in front of everybody else. You know what I mean? Like maybe a pre-rush.
I am. So I guess we are merging as fast as you guys say this is ready to merge. So I have no problem just like, you know, having like a faster turnaround here. If everything is ready on Monday and we merge everything for Monday, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, do we have, or should we make a plan in terms of like what does testing actually mean? Like, are we going to ask everybody from Thursday onwards to test until Sunday, for example, or like, should we make that more clear? Or
so you said it was your suggestion, and I understood it first that people should immediately test, and then we look at like also immediately look at what happens while testing and maybe fix it until the next sprint starts. But maybe that was wrong. Maybe you want more time for testing. But
like
I think
for me, it's simply like this. It's like that. It would be great to get everybody in Giveth to test and find bugs and stuff like this, right? But like every time we fix a bug, we introduce the chance of breaking something, right?
Sure.
So like it makes sense to me to like have a sort of cycle whereby like we test, we find bugs, we fill up our backlog of bugs to fix, then we fix stuff, and then we do a release, and then everyone tests again, right? Like, so this is kind of like the thinking. Like, I don't have any specifics in mind necessarily, but I think this is the kind of mindset that I was referring to.
All right. So you would like to, so should we keep it at like from Wednesday to Sunday, there is testing and everybody should test and make issues and then we look at those?
Yeah. I mean, I would say like we developers are aiming to do a release on staging on Wednesday, and we would like everybody who has got time to test on staging and report bugs up until like, yeah, I mean, up until the end of the week, up until Sunday or whatever, right? Or it could just be for a day or two and then we fix things again. I mean, I'm happy to see how things go, but I think that's one proposal I would make, like that would work, right?
All right, let's do it like that. And so I see you guys in the channel, and on Wednesday, I think you should hop over to the other meeting, or we should.
I think we're actually going to use the same room for the community
call.
call.
This is great.
Which is nice.
So
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I saw in Discord.
Mateo.
Okay.
Yeah, just so we can keep the live stream going and make it simple. People don't have to drop off and come back in.
Well, we still need to break the stream and end this one and start the next one.
Oh, great developer update, y'all. I'm so excited for this Wednesday to see the release candidate. It's cool, so exciting. Yeah. A big milestone.
It also means I don't have to give a dev update now, right? At the beginning of the talk.
Nice try.
I will rush out of the room for 2 minutes to see if anybody needs anything, and then I'll be back. So I'll give it over to whoever wants to lead the meeting.
You could pass it to Forrest.
I pass it to Forrest.
Thank you.
And we should end this live stream, and then once we get started on the next call, we can start that one.
No, we are staying in the room, and we can split the video. It's easier.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So I can share my screen. All right. So we'll just get started with check-ins then. We can do popcorn style like in the past. Is there anyone fresh joining us on this call that wasn't in the past call? Let's take a look. Seems like mostly the same group, but just shifting over to community, I think it's not a bad idea to still do check-ins. So if we can give an update, anything that you'd like for me to add to the agenda that you want to be sure for us to discuss today, just briefly. your intentions for this call and any distractions going on in your environment. And we can just go popcorn style and pass the mic to someone when you're done. Who would like to go first?
I'll go first. My intentions are, I just reviewed the agenda. I have a few things to share at a few spots in it. Testing is all, I've got a few hours after